and I'm here with Kasie, and she's going to describe her dissertation argument or abstract very, very briefly. And what would that be?
So very briefly, my dissertation looks at illusions, and the title is Culture of Illusions, Landscape Gardens, Fabricated Ruins, and the Diorama. And basically it's an exploration of how fictional objects like sham ruins interact with a space and with viewers to create new ways of understanding how people interact with imagined histories, essentially, or imagined spaces.
This is tremendous. This topic is so mind-blowing and so expansive.
Thank you.
And from what you've told me before, some of which we have on tape, it applies to today.
Absolutely.
In our media-saturated world where we can't tell anymore which is the so-called real world and which isn't. And we don't know how to interact anymore with our environment or with other people, I might say.
Exactly.
So this kind of topic, going back in history and discovering something that goes back 250 years, this kind of thing was going on. And people were working through the same psychological, metaphysical, spiritual, and communication problems that they were having. So it's totally fascinating to me. So tell me just briefly some of the paintings and or artists that you study in your dissertation.
So one of the primary objects of my dissertation is Wimpole Estate, which I've already told you quite a bit about. I'm also looking at Humphrey Repton, who was a landscape designer, but also did these fantastic watercolors. Okay. I'm also looking at Louis-Jacques Monde Daguerre, who invented the daguerreotype, essentially photography, but lesser known, he was also a theatrical set designer, painter, and he created a spectacle known as the diorama, which used natural lighting and other effects to create a spectacle of pre-cinema, essentially.
Right.
And so some of the images that I use, mostly my work focuses on the reception of a kind of experience or case study. But some of the images that I talk about particularly are engravings of spaces. For instance, this is a travel book. So this is a facsimile, but this is essentially the same size and display that you would have in your hand while you walked through this particular garden. And in this garden, or in this book, there are several engravings that show you not only the thing that you'll see, but it shows it to you in a very specific light, and you were expected to kind of train your eye a little bit. So this is the Roman ruin, which is a sham ruin.
Okay.
In the space.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And so some of the other things that I looked at as that didn't quite make it into the analysis of my dissertation, but are foundational for my thinking, are Hubert Robert's paintings of the ruins of the Louvre, which are really interesting because his paintings, although they look like ruins, and we tend to think of the past when we see ruins, his ruins were actually an imagination of the future.
Oh, wow.
So he's imagining what future visitors in 1,000 years how they will interact with Paris through ruin. So this kind of temporal slipping between past and future that's happening was really essential to my thinking about fiction and imagination as a way to use history and use these things.
This is a Amazon series with 10 episodes, and where these painters actually do time travel, and then you take it from there.
Absolutely.
It all happens.
Yes, wonderful.
That's exactly what happened. So that's where
I'm
that's
on
all
board.
going. That's exactly where that's going. Wow, this is tremendous. Okay, well, there's a lot. There's so much here we can't cover it all. Yep. We'll show some of the images, and we'll just sign off for now. So
thank you so much.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.